Good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensie Owl Bob. Here we are, out in the deep green. Hope you're doing well. It's cool, and that's nice. It's about 3 o'clock. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. And don't believe a word I say. But what does this
I hate groups of people. I hate people who have a group of people with a common purpose. Because pretty soon they have little hats, and armbands, and fight songs, and a list of people they're going to visit at 3 a.m. We're in a pre-fascist state. And I said, when fascism comes to America, it will not be wearing jack boots and brown shirts, and it will be wearing Nike sneakers, and it will have smiley face buttons on the Hard Rock.
And carrying a flag.
Yeah, of course.
And a Bible.
Always that. I hate groups of people. I hate people who have a group of people with a common purpose. Because pretty soon they have...
It's like people, responding to Donald Trump. It's like you go, how can anybody actually be okay with that? And you go, it's the level of conviction. It's that whole Americana thing of like seeing something, doing something, and not caring what people think. There's something attractive to that. And I get it. I totally get it. It's just sometimes it's wrong. You know what I mean? And you have to be able to kind of step back and assess what that is for you personally, as opposed to...
Trump is being Trump. There's no other way to say it. I'm with you. I don't know how it works out. The last time we did anything like this is in World War II, and that was one of the more reprehensible acts by the United States of America. We are the melting pot, except for you. That does not go along with our DNA.
Do you think he would do well in the world of professional wrestling?
Stephen, do I? WWE was made for a guy like Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been to WrestleMania and actually shaped...
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community.
But his targets are underdogs. And comedy traditionally has picked on people in power, people who abuse their power. Women and gays and immigrants are kind of, to my way of thinking, underdogs.
Why does he get away with it, do you think, then?
Well,
We have never laughed at jokes about the
Well, he's
war.
appealing. I think he's appealing largely. I think his core audience are young white males who are threatened by these groups. I think a lot of these guys aren't sure of their manhood because that's a problem when you're going in through adolescence. And the women who assert themselves and are competent are a threat. There's a certain, a sharing of anger and rage at these targets. But his targets are underdogs. And
Because Trump.
Why should President Trump come see your show?
Well, I hope he doesn't, because I won't perform if he does.
A lot of what happens in the movie is based on books that we've read and even depositions that were given by members of the Trump family. And one of the things that I was interested in is Trump gives a gift to Roy Cohn, his mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And that gift is jewelry.
That's right. They are Tiffany cufflinks that have Trump on them.
The word Trump on them, which seemed crazy enough that he would give him cufflinks with not Cohn on them, but...
No, he'll do anything and everything to get what he wants, and women are of no value to him in his life or world. The only one who is, I think.
Like Donald Trump say, we want more people from Norway. Do you think, what's wrong with Sweden? What are we, chop? Even I can't tell us apart.
Well, again, our dear president is misinformed. Because, we hate him over there. So, we hate him. Wow. So, if he got any...
Última advertencia. Si no reclama. He's ripped off. I can't even tell you how many people, right? People I know, right, that he's ripped off.
There's been a lot of alleged issues with contracts.
No, I'm telling you I'm telling you people I know, right? He, Barbara Corcoran, she said something about this from Shark Tank, right? Mm-hmm. He hired her. Última advertencia. Si no...
Hello, humans. Hello, humans. It's almost 11, heading on the outward bound, going back out to the coast. Sort of frustrating day. Ran into shortages and stuff here. didn't get to do some of the things I wanted to do, some of the things that were on the schedule. Anyway, though, I was thinking about, the other day I was looking at some videos and had seen a video of this guy, Sasha Stone, who was, had in his video, they had this little image of a sea slug eating a crab at the bottom of the ocean, you know. And he's saying it's black goo, it's black goo. Oh my God, it's black goo. Oh, the level of ignorance of a lot of the woo people is really astounding. And then they try and they can't really be blamed if they're honest. If he actually thinks that's black goo, but he's just abysmally ignorant of other life forms on this planet.
$5 a day invested for 1 year, and you could have $1,900. $5 a day.
Let me begin with a question that demands our immediate attention. What happens when the United States, already overstretched in its global interventions, decides to turn its military focus on Venezuela? And perhaps more importantly, what ripple effects will this have on the flow of oil to China, one of the largest energy consumers in the world? This is not merely a geopolitical chess match, it is an economic earthquake waiting to happen. Venezuela's oil reserves are not just large, they are the largest on the planet. Bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia, bigger than any of the Middle Eastern producers that often dominate headlines. This fact alone transforms Venezuela from being just another Latin American country into a geopolitical prize of enormous value. The sheer scale of its reserves ensures that any major global player with ambitions of securing long-term energy dominance must have Venezuela factored into its strategic calculations. And when we look at the United States, a nation whose foreign policy has often revolved around ensuring access to and control of vital resources, Venezuela stands out like a glaring target on the map. Now ask yourself, is it possible that Washington views Venezuela less as a sovereign country and more as a massive energy vault waiting to be cracked open? That question should unsettle us, because history gives us reasons to believe the answer may be yes. The United States has long justified interventions in Latin America through lofty ideals: democracy, stability, the fight against corruption,
Oh, yes. So that was just a flip through the YouTube universe. And if you can't see that Donald Trump is being set up, that's why he's Donald Trump, right? He's not, he's a grifter. And he's, going through it like he can't believe, trillions of dollars into his invisible piggy bank. And as he destroys America, so goes his piggy bank. So, and he is like, everyone's going to be looking at him because before him, they had mindless used car salesman Jojo. And, on paper, America looked great. There was, unemployment was, almost non-existent. Anyone who wanted a job could get one. Payrolls were high. We came out of the COVID better than anybody else. And, Jojo said, we're back, and everyone in Europe and the rest of the world kind of believed that. Okay, so, Donald was just an aberration, right? And America will go on being what it is, the purveyor of a world order that allows us to make a profit over other people, right? Well, not us just making a profit. Like you look at the Gaza, right? We weren't the only guys selling weapons to Israel, right? Pretty much all of the EU was, right? And they really didn't say anything about what was going on there for at least 18 months, Then it got a little ridiculous, and now it's out of hand, so people are going, uh-oh, we're going to be connected to these guys historically, so we better make some noise. But they're still selling weapons, still making money. Anyway, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. So here it is, 10 minutes and 10 seconds, however when that happens. AI is the only one watching. Hello, AI. Come on, let's have some thumbs up, guys. Please. I want the algorithm to kick out the jams. And I'm ready. I'm ready to be your loyal opposition because if America is going to continue, it's definitely going to have to rejigger itself, and that's why Donnie Trump is there, because all of our past crimes, for the last 250 years, we could even go back to, what's his name, 500 years, and we could say, hey, it's all Donald Trump's fault, right? So Donnie is not the problem. He is the symptom, right? And it's been made so visible. I mean, he is so, nothing is hidden. It is like he lies so much. He's telling the truth. I just love it, right? And all the people, as that one, movie star was saying, that the folk who are, red hats and red scarves, I'm a red guy, the only reason they are is because they believe in Don's validity because of his continuity of what he says. He just keeps saying the same thing over and over and over and over. And a mindless chump will believe a mindless chump. So that's where we're at, right? And, what does that all mean? What are you going to do about it, right? Well, what it means is there's nobody watching and there's no thumbs up. So nobody wants to hear what needs to be done. What needs to be done is that the individual has to step forth in love's co-creation. The individual has to be the artist in the first person, no matter what you do, right? You have to do it in community. And instead of viewing your well-being by going after the other, you have to realize that you are the other, right? Now, I worked for the corporate world for a good 13 years, and it killed me, right? That's why I'm like, I've lost the 260 pounds. I'm down to my 190, and I'm looking good for my age. But I'm still, it could keel over any minute now. And all my doctors tell me that. It's like my car. My car could die any second, but my mechanic said, well, it could die like any second now, or, last another 100,000 miles, who knows? And that's me. I'm here as long as love's co-creation wants me here, right? So go read about Mr. Spinoza in the 16th century and what he said about religion and God, right? Go read that, right? It's all over. You can just plug it into YouTube. YouTube is great. You can find out anything you want about anything. And it's, until it's a memory hole, it's kind of true. I mean, you have to do your homework. You have to double check what it is. But if you go to Google, go to Wikipedia, and they kind of give you what it is. But the reason that is because people use that as their go-to thing, and basically they are fucking becoming stupider than stupid. So here is the beautiful deep green, right? It's not quite, this deep green is about a mile from my house on the logging road. And it's pretty, but mine is like a sanctuary. Because mine was kind of created by, let's see if I can bring up the imagery of my spot. Anyway, you guys can send me something. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Ooh. So this is my deep green. This is a logging road. This is early in the morning. This is the sun rising up.
So-called war on drugs. But peel back the layers of rhetoric, and what consistently appears beneath is a fixation on natural resources and strategic positioning, from Guatemala in the 1950s to Chile in the 1970s, and right through to more recent actions in Iraq and Libya. Oil and economic interests have played central roles in the decisions made by Washington's political and corporate elites. Venezuela, with its vast oil wealth, fits this historical pattern perfectly. The difference today is the scale of those reserves and the presence of a powerful rival, China, already embedded in Venezuela's oil sector. That combination turns what might otherwise be a regional issue into a global flashpoint. Here's the hook: when you control oil, you don't just control an economy, you control the future of nations. Oil powers industries, militaries, transport systems, and entire ways of life. Without it, global economies slow, weaken, and stumble. With it, a country can project power and sustain growth. The United States knows this truth deeply. Its military machine runs on oil. Its corporations depend on stable flows of energy.
Well, this is my deep green. That's my front lawn, surrounded by the woods. I kind of cut out the center core because this was a holler. It was all muddy and icky and lots of bugs. And I took the big old trees that were going to die soon, and then were, a valuable asset. So the arbiter who took the trees cleared out the whole center, and then the grandmas came in, and these were all botanical and flowering plants that surround me and give me fresh oxygen. And so this is kind of my driveway, but the road on that side is the death road, so it's not, you can't drive on it. But the driveway's all ready. You just have to scrape that stuff off, and there it'd be. And this is goes up to the deck. And so I kind of walk from way down here where I have a little travel trailer with a bed in it, and I come up here and I go all the way there, and that's about a football field worth of walk. And I walk that every day, about 10 times a day. And that's why I still have legs, right? And that's my little gardening, where I keep all my tools and stuff. Anyway, so that's where I live. And that's where, why I don't go out that much, because I'm trying to save my little car. They only drive as I drive up here and talk to you guys. And I don't even do that every day. Recently I have, because my hips are, my hip singular, and is so bad that I can't really walk around and do stuff, right? So until I get that fixed in a few days, I will be, at just doing this, right? And I go into town and see doctors, and I go and see people who are worse off than me and keep them company and talk to them. And I interact with the general public, and I basically give them insight into their lives. Only when people, I can see that they will, get something good out of what I have saying. If I talk to somebody and they're not going to get anything out of it, I don't talk to them, right? And I can just look at them and say, yep, oh, that person. And usually the person I talk to, well, other people would say, why'd you talk to that guy? He's just a bum. No, he's a human being who needs a hand up, not a hand out. So I guess no one cares about that. No one cares about the dynamic of where our world is right now and where they fit in it, and where they're going to go with it. And that's fine, because none of this material world really matters. It really doesn't. Right? And what matters is your spirit, your soul. And your soul is immortal, and you're not going anywhere. And whatever religious literature that you read, it's just a game show / business plan, right? Now, not to say that any of the sacred texts aren't valuable. They are, and they're all in code. Unless you can read the code. I mean, you can read the King James, and it's a comic book. Or you can read the King James, and it really is a very extraordinary tool to hit you as a tuning fork, right? To get you to understand, Christ's. I really do like Martin, Matthew, and Luke, right? Those guys, they came after Jesus. They weren't one of the chuckleheads, because the real people who mattered in Jesus' cadre were the others, right? The prostitutes, the criminals, the tax collectors, the people that people couldn't stand, right? A good portion of the people that the New Testament talk about, the apostles, they were just guys who kind of wanted to be, oh wow, this guy's cool. He's going to be the king of Jews. So we'll hitch our wagon to his train, and we'll see where we can go. And at least we can get a free meal out of him, and we don't have to work that hard, and all the above. Little did they know that they were just character actors, just like all the people who are, our politicians and the people who are notorieties. That's why, me, I'm just your Sensie Owl Bob, here to tell you a story, your griot. And I have not a lot of years to go, and that's good. I came back because Love's Co-Creation said, well, you did a great job up to now, and you only got about 11%, so just keep going. And, I was told, it doesn't matter how long you stay down there. It's just how well your conscious intent to be a griot of agape love, of Love's Co-Creation. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. And I'll talk to you guys later, maybe a little later. I have probably 15, 20 minutes left in this, so I'll come back maybe one more time.